Hey, boys and girls. What we're going to do today is we're going to do something that we've done something like this before when we did equations. Okay, what we're going to do is take a phrase and we're going to turn it into an inequality. Now, again, we've done something like this before with equations, so it's not going to be completely new, but it's going to be slightly different because we are using the inequality symbols. So let's remind ourselves of those real quick. So we have the less than symbol looks like kind of like an L. I'm just going to put that less there. Then there's less than or equal to. Looks like an L as well. We got the greater than symbol and greater than or equal to. So we're going to use these symbols today to write inequalities using a particular phrase. For example, you must be over 12 years old to ride the go-karts. That means your age has to be over 12. We're going to let A equal your age. Now, you can't, according to this, you can't be 12. You have to be over 12. So A has to be any number greater than 12. A has to be greater than 12. So now we're going to look at each phrase. We're going to write a let statement. We're going to write words to help us think about the situation, and then we're going to write an inequality using inequality symbols. So this one, number 2, says a pony is less than 14.2 hands tall. The words are, it's pretty much the words that were written in the phrase, a pony is less than 14.2 hands tall. The variable, the amount we don't know, is the height of a pony. Okay, so this pony, whatever height it is, the pony has to be less than 14.2. So we're going to use the less than symbol. P for pony is less than 14.2. According to this, it can't be 14.2. It has to be less than that. So our inequality would look something like this. P is less than 14.2. All right, let's try this one here about the driver's age. You must be at least 16 years old to have a driver's license. At least. At least means you can be like 16 or above. 16 or above. So your age is the thing we don't know. So we're going to let A equal your age. And for you to have a driver's license, your age has to be 16 or above, 16 or greater. So your age has to be greater than or equal to 16 to get your driver's license. So for some of you, you're only about 4 or 5 years away from that. All right. Let's check on number 4. You must be older than 13 to play in the basketball league. Older than 13. So your age is greater than 13. You have to be older than that. Okay? So what has to be older than that? Your age has to be older than 13. So what we don't know here is the age of the person. So whoever you are, we're going to let A equal your age. So we used your age a few times because a lot of times these restrictions are dependent on your age. So the inequality, you must be older than 13. So your age would have to be greater than or older than 13, but it can't be equal. So if you were 13, you couldn't play. You got to be old. You got to be greater than 13. So then you'd use the greater than symbol, but not the or equal to, because according to this, it can't be 13. All right. So going to the post office, to use one stamp, your letter must weigh under 3.5 ounces. Okay. Letter, so it's like the letter weight Sorry, I just had a special guest. To use one stamp, your letter must weigh under 3.5 ounces. The letter weight is under 3.5 ounces. So what's the variable? What's the number we don't know? Well, at this point, we don't know the letter weight. So we're going to let, I don't know, W equal weight of a letter. So the letter weight is under 3.5 ounces. So that means W has to be, if it's under, it has to be less than. The key word here is under. It's got to be less than 3.5. It can't be equal to. It's got to be under that amount. So it's just less than. Okay. All right. You must be over 48 inches to ride the roller coaster. Over 48. So it's kind of like the key word there. Over 48. So height, your height needs to be above 48 inches. Okay, so over 48 means greater than 48, so your height needs to be greater than 48 inches. So we're going to let, I don't know, H equal your height. So this is kind of like when you go to Darien Lake or something, they have that sort of like that measuring stick. You have to be over a certain height to ride a certain ride. According to this, you can't be equal to 48. You have to be over 48. So we're going to let H equal your height. Your height has to be greater than or over 48 inches. So H greater than 48 for you to be able to ride that particular ride. Okay. And this one is also true. This is a true statement. You must be at least 18 years old to vote. So your age is at least 18. Now, you can be 18. It's got to be at the very least 18. So 18 or greater. So we're going to let A, again, we don't know the age, equal your age. And the inequality is at least 18. Your age needs to be greater than 18 or equal to 18 to vote. So there's the inequality. A is greater than or equal to 18. So again, the key words in here like older or under or at least or at most, those key words help you find out what symbol of inequality to use or what the statement is trying to say. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine what we did last time with graphing inequalities. We're going to combine that with writing inequalities. So the first thing we're going to do is write an inequality, and then in the next step, we're going to graph it. So we're going to go to page, I'm going to say 6, because we already did 5. Let's go to page 6 here. Okay, here we go. So you can tell here there's a little graph here. So we're going to write the same thing as last time. We're going to write the words, variable, inequality. Then we're going to graph it. Okay, this top one says, I'm just going to zoom out slightly. There we go. Traffic on a residential street can travel at speeds of no more than 25 miles per hour. Write and graph an inequality to describe the possible speeds on the street. So the words, the keywords here is like your speed no more than 25. That's really the key thing. Your speed can be no more than 25. What does that mean? No more than. You can be at 25, that's fine, but you can't be above that. So you have to be at 25 or less. 25 or less. So the variable, we're going to let, what we don't know here is your speed. That's what really counts. That's what matters here. So we're going to let S equal your speed. Okay. And then the inequality would be your speed has to be no more than 25. It has to be less than 25 or equal to 25. So your speed has to be less than 25 or equal to. So speed has to be less than or equal to 25. That seems good to me. Let's graph this. Let's graph it to show all of the possible solutions, because there's more than one. Of course, if it's no more than 25, it could be some different ones. So I'm going to put my 5 dashes, one in the middle, 2 on either side. We'll put 25 right in the middle, because that's the number we're kind of thinking about, we're starting with. Then we'll do 2 below. We'll do 2 above. And then we'll graph it. Now, looking at this symbol, less than or equal to, 25 would count. You can drive at 25. So we're going to have a closed dot because we have the less than or equal to symbol. And then because it's less than or equal to, we're going to go to the numbers that are less than 25. So these are the possible speeds. You could go at 24. You can go at 23. I mean, I guess you can go all the way down to 1, but I think people would probably be a bit annoyed at that if you decided to drive at 1 mile per hour. But that graph shows all the possible speeds on the street. Okay. All right. Now, if you want to try this next one on your own, you can. I'm going to do it as well. But if you wanted to pause it, try it, see what you get, that would be good too. Tasha can spend no more than $40 on new boots. Write and graph an inequality to describe how much she can spend. Okay. She can spend no more than 40. So for my words, I'm just going to jot that down. I'm going to write a W for words. Spend. What does that no more than 40 mean? No more than 40. She can't spend more than 40. She can spend 40 or less. She can spend 40 or less. Okay. On new boots. So let's write a variable. We're going to let I don't know, B equal amount spent on boots. That's the amount we're concerned about, is how much money she's spending on the boots. That amount has to be $40 or less. It can be no more than 40. So for our inequality, B has to be less than 40, but she can also spend 40. She just can't spend more than that. So B has to be less than or equal to 40. Okay, let's graph that thing. Let's graph it. We'll put a dash in the middle, 2 dashes on either side. We'll put 40 in the middle, which is the sort of the limit for her boot spending amount. She can't spend 41. She can't spend 42, but she can spend 40. Because we have the less than or equal to symbol, I know we're going to use the closed dot. Less than or equal means we're going to have our line go to the numbers less than 40 or equal. So she can spend $39. She can spend $38. She just can't spend anything above 40. I feel good about that one. All right, let's try another one. This one's interesting. About a push-up camp. I'm not sure if that exists or what it would really mean to go to a push-up camp, but here it is. Andy went to push-up camp. At the camp, his counselors told him that each morning he had to do at least 15 push-ups before he could have breakfast. At least. I'm just going to kind of circle that part. That seems like the part that might indicate our inequality. So before he has breakfast, he's got to do at least 15 push-ups. Write and graph an inequality to represent how many push-ups Andy had to complete each morning. Seems like intense. But if you're going to push-up camp, you're going to expect to do push-ups, I suppose. All right, so the words. What are the words that are key here? At least 15 push-ups. So he has to do at least 15. So that means he has to do 15 or more push-ups each morning. 15 or more push-ups. Okay. So our let statement, we're going to let P, I suppose, equal number of push-ups. So it depends on the person, depends on the camper, I guess, how many push-ups they're going to do. So that's why we're going to use a variable here, because different people could do different numbers. However, that amount that each person does has to be at least 15. So that means that the number of push-ups could be greater than 15, but it also could be equal to. It has to you have to do at least 15 or more. 15 or more. So then we'd use the or equal to symbol there. Greater than or equal to. All right, let's make a little graph here. 15 push-ups, and then 2 on the other side. 2 on either side there. Can't do 14. Can't do 13. That's too few. 16 and 17, that would be acceptable. And so would 15. So because it's greater than or equal to, he can do 15 push-ups. So we're going to use the closed dot. But he can also do more if he wanted to. I mean, you're at push-up camp. You might as well, take advantage of the time that you have there. All right. Oh, we got one more here. Now, notice that all of these were like or equal to. That's why we have the closed dot. So it's not that you use the closed dot each time. We just don't have any that are just less than or just greater than. Then we'd use the open dot. Okay, I just wanted to point that out there. Last one here, we got Val. Val went to Duff's with the understanding that she was going to eat at most 12 wings. Eat at most 12 wings. Write and graph an inequality to represent how many wings Val ate. At Duff's. All right, so let's write the words. What does that mean at most? At most 12. That means she could eat 12, but that's the most she could have. So she can eat 12 or that'd be 12 or less. And I think people get tripped up sometimes because it has the word most, or you're thinking, oh, it's got to be greater than. However, the limit, the most she could eat is 12, but she could also eat less than that. So she can eat 12 or less wings. Okay, so we're going to let W perhaps equal number of wings Val ate. Okay, so W, the wings she ate, at most 12. So she could eat less than 12, or she could eat exactly 12. She just can't eat any more. So it's going to be W is the number of wings, has to be less than or equal to 12. I hope you notice too, I'm trying to talk these out to myself, trying to figure out what does at most mean by thinking about what are the limits here? Can I eat more? Can I eat less? Because that's helpful in finding what symbol of inequality to use. All right, so let's do our graph. We'll put 12 in the middle, put 2 dashes on either side. Oh yeah. Okay. Put 11, 10, 13, 14. So she can eat 12. It's another closed dot because it's less than or equal to, but she can eat at most 12 or less than 12. Make sure you put your arrowhead at the end of that. All right, so that's what you missed today in class. This was good practice for us, and I hope that this went well. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and I'd be happy to get back to you. All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.